has access to. You have 5 different curriculums. First Look is preschool, 252 is elementary, you have XP3 middle school and high school, and then you have adult curriculum called Live a Better Story. So anytime you have questions, comments, concerns, or you even just want to talk about how you can implement these specific curriculums in your core, I'm kind of your person to go to. I like to say I'm like a concierge to Orange. I can tell you, I want to learn more about your cores, and then I can make suggestions on different parts of the curriculum that I think can work really well for you. Something that's really important just to remember when you look at Orange, I know as soon as you sign on to the website and you see all the files, you probably immediately want to close your computer because it is a lot. And I can understand that it does seem overwhelming. It's not on purpose. We're not doing it to you, I promise. Think of Orange like a grocery store. We have thousands of ingredients. You get to make the meal. You get to pick and choose what works best for your core. Orange is actually international. We're in thousands of churches. Salvation Army internationally uses Orange, and not everybody looks the same. How your core uses Orange is going to be very different than a core down the street in another state in a different country, and that's meant to be on purpose. We know one size meets all ministry doesn't work. It doesn't really exist. People are different. Kids are different. How they learn is different. So we try to give you a ton of different options so that you can find the right activities and the right lesson that's really going to work for your kids. That does mean a little bit more work on your part, to be absolutely honest, and we think kids are worth it. They're worth that time and effort of going through the material and picking and choosing what's going to work. The best part is once you kind of know the website pretty well, once you know the things that you like, your setup is a lot easier. You know exactly which files you're going to each month. You know exactly which things work. I always say start small. There is no need to implement everything. Please don't. That's really not a possibility. Start small. Pick and choose a few small things. We can set up individual Zoom sessions where I give you suggestions and say, hey, start here. And then in a few months, we can circle back and say what worked, what didn't work, and maybe what's a new thing that we can start to implement. So it's really the idea of we're not giving you material and you go off on your own and you figure it out. I'm here for you to help walk you through it. I can even help partner you with other cores that are very similar in backgrounds and see what they're doing, see how they're using the material, and if that can be helpful for you. So my biggest fear is I never want anyone to sit confused and not understanding what they can do with Orange. And for you guys to know that you have a whole team of ministry people that want to come alongside you and help you as much as possible, especially during the pandemic, because we know that not everyone is able to meet in their buildings. So we've actually partnered with a company called Playlister. We had our copyright suspended for about 5 months during the pandemic so that our partners were able to put all of our material on Facebook. We've had to reinstate that copyright, but we still wanted a way for you guys to be able to get your material out to your congregations. So using Playlister, you sign up with them, you get an account, you're able to link your Orange account to Playlister. And once you do so, you don't ever have to download media ever again. I know those videos are big files and it kills everyone having to download the videos. That media is actually available in Playlister. You create a custom playlist. So you pick and choose maybe the music video, the countdown video, the story video, put it together in a playlist. Playlister puts it together into a custom URL that you are free to post on any social media. That actually covers our copyright because you can't download from it. It's just a video that parents watch. Parents click on the link and the video pops up, they press play, and their lesson is out there. The greatest thing is you can actually upload your own videos into Playlister. Isaac, as a youth leader, can upload a video saying hello to his kids in his core. And then as soon as they press on that link, Isaac's face pops up. So they're not just connecting with Orange Media, they're still connecting with you while you're not able to meet in the building. This is absolutely free. Everyone in the Army has access to it. All you have to do is go to playlister.app, sign up for an account. In the settings tab, it says link your Orange Media. You just use your Orange credentials. If you've forgotten them, don't worry. You can just send me an email and I'll send it to you. Sign in with your Orange credentials and your Orange Media is automatically linked. So you don't have to download anything anymore. You just go to 252, you go to First Look, XP3 if you have teens, and you make your playlists. Facebook is awesome because you can schedule posts. So you can schedule a month in advance of all your Playlister links, and then you're good to go for your Sunday school, especially if it's a little bit better. Sometimes families are a little nervous about having their kids in a separate part of the building right now. They might want to be together during holiness meeting. You can actually make sure the kids still have content for them that they access online, while in your building, maybe you're just focusing on the main service for a little while. Or it's a great, we know families might not come back to church. We know that Sundays are a really hard time for families. So this is a great way to ensure that families still have access to material throughout the week, just in case they miss a Sunday. I know that was a long spiel, but I thank you for sticking with me, because there's a lot of exciting things that we're bringing out.
Yep, and maybe Jackie, if you can put the link one more time for the what it looked like for the playlist there, that'd be great. So, do you guys have any question? Like any question that you have with Orange, you can ask to Jackie so she can answer.
Yeah, it is a good time. You're gonna share your opinion, good thing or bad thing, so that we know each other. You know, so building together our Sunday school. So.
I'll say something. I appreciate that description, Jackie, of the orange material. I have to say that I'm one of those professors that has been overwhelmed by the website and the time that it takes to download, and at times I've chosen not to use it. So I appreciate the description of a grocery store and the ability to choose different components that work for our core. During the last 6 months during the pandemic, we have not been doing we haven't been doing Sunday school. We've been doing a meeting streamline, but not Sunday school. So it's exciting to hear the possibilities that we can share that material. So I'll definitely be looking into that for our core.
Yeah. And as soon as you go back into your building, I'd love to set up a Zoom call, just you and I can walk you through the website. I can screen share on Zoom and show you exactly where files are at. I actually have a PDF walkthrough that I can send out that is a 9-page walkthrough, because I really love screenshots and being very specific on where to find things on the site. I can definitely send that out. But I am here. If it's a Saturday night and you have no idea what to do for Sunday, please send me an email, or please post in our Facebook group. I always say I'm a little bit of a workaholic, and I want to make sure that you guys have your material, especially for a Sunday. So never feel like you can't contact. I have office hours, but no one does in ministry. It doesn't really make sense. So shoot me an email, go on that Facebook page, and I'll make sure to get you exactly what you need. And it might be, I really hate to tell people choose this file, and this file, because there's so many options. I don't want you to feel limited, and I don't want you to not explore what we have that might be a better fit. But I can definitely make some suggestions of a baseline and say, start here, but don't limit yourself here. I always say, if you have a free afternoon, which I understand as officers and youth leaders, you don't, but if you ever do, magically one day it appears, click around on the website, especially the media package. You get hours of content that sometimes I'm still discovering things that we're putting up there. Just click around and see what you can use. Maybe something you see that's not for right now, we're not ready for it yet, but maybe in 6 months, that's something we can start doing. And that's something that you and I can have conversations about, of how can we build to that. I always want to know, what is someone's goals for their youth ministry? And Orange is just a vehicle to get you there, but you guys have to have your goals. So once I know what you want, then you and I can brainstorm, how can we get there using some of our materials. Not that Orange is the end all be all. You guys are amazing administrators yourself. We just want to be extra resources to get you that next extra step.
There are awesome like small group questions in Orange you can also use. Yeah, Isaac, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say 2 things, a question, but then first off, I'd like to say one thing that I really appreciate is I'm able to, we have kids on Sundays that go from the age of literally 6 all the way to teens, going up to like 14, 15. And at the moment, me and my wife are the only ones that are leading that group together. And so to be able to like pick stuff from like the teens, the kids, and then they all get to watch the Bible video, which is kind of the huge thing, where I show them the Bible, I show the whole age group by the video, and then I'm able to ask a little more in-depth questions to the teens, while the kids are able to answer some stuff. So I just kind of appreciate where I can grab some from each section. And the other thing about it is it's really good, because sometimes
We can't hear you. You muted yourself.
My bad. Can you hear me now? I work for Verizon. Can you hear me now? Yeah, well, I was just saying you guys are doing a good, I appreciate the program, but like the other officer just said, yeah, at first it's overwhelming because you're like, wait a minute, this is a lot of stuff. But once you look through it, it's like you said, it's a grocery store because I get to pick and choose and able to develop what I need for that Sunday. So I really appreciate that. But on the side of the video you were just saying, what I always do, I just literally download it onto my iPhone or the iPad, literally, and just show it from there. I can still do that, right? Even though with the copyright thing. Oh, okay.
Totally fine. Yeah. Totally fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially if you're in person, sure. Like that's fine. So something that I don't generally talk about because it is a little bit different. So Playlister has two separate sections. It's Playlister at home, and that makes that URL. And then there's Playlister at church. We don't really talk about it much because a lot of people aren't at church quite yet. But with Playlister, you get something called a free screen. If you have an Apple TV, Playlister has an app where you can access your playlist on a smart TV and just play it in your television. And as you know, if it downloads on that Apple TV box, if you have internet at home and you download there, but you don't have internet at church, that playlist is still on your Apple TV box. So if your internet is spotty at the core, it's a great way of still being able to play. And it's also good if you want to take care of things for your Sunday school teachers or whoever's leading your large group section. If you just want to take care of that for them, you can create that playlist for them. And then they just plug in that Apple TV and press play and the lesson is there. So I don't talk about that much because not every core has an Apple TV and I'm cheap. So the idea of having to buy something extra is just like a little too much for me. But if you have an Apple TV around your core, if you have a core member willing to donate it, an Apple TV allows you to use Playlister in your church building. Also, actually, Isaac, I have a question. When you have everyone together, do you use 252 story or 252 movie?
Story.
So not the so-and-so show?
No.
Okay, so we have two options for 252. 252 has the story version, which is a very literal telling, and then it has the movie version, which is meant more for preteen, and it's more of a humorous telling of the Bible story. So you always have options, especially because we know sometimes preteens just think everything is a little too babyish for them. So we've kind of created a separate video for them, but it also works for little kids. We didn't mean it for them to like it, but they started to love the so-and-so show, so that's kind of taken off. So you have multiple options on a Sunday. If you don't like the story version, check out the movie version. If you don't like that, we have live teaching scripts. Maybe I think live teachers are amazing. If we can get everyone to teach live, I think that's always best. Maybe it's once a month because you're so busy. Once a month you do the live script and the rest of the weeks you watch a video. It's whatever option works best for your ministry.
Jackie, I know one of the officers couldn't come in, but he was asking about Spanish material. Can you tell us a little bit about like 3 weeks or the process of the Spanish material?
Sure. So we have Spanish material for First Look, 252, XP3 Middle, XP3 High School. For First Look and 252, it's only the starter material. So it's starter assumes you have kindergarten through 5th all together in one room instead of breaking it up by age groups, which is where I suggest TSA stays. Everyone should stay in starter. It's kind of the easiest if you don't have a ton of volunteers. So that starter material is in Spanish. We put it on one account. So actually with TSA in the West, it's a little bit easier because you guys should all be sharing that same login for the core. That core login has the Spanish material. It's found in the other downloads folder. So as soon as you click other downloads, it shows all 4 curriculums in Spanish. For Live a Better Story, we have all of the adult curriculum in Spanish as well. However, whenever we release a series, we ask that you give us 2 to 3 weeks before we upload the Spanish. So whenever you choose a series and it tells you the getting started and then weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, however long it is in Live a Better Story, at the bottom, it will say Spanish translations. And that is all the material in Spanish. The only thing we don't have in Spanish is videos. It is on our wish list, but it is not yet a reality.
Yeah, I actually have to pause the videos and translate for some of our members. Like I'll pause and explain what's happening on the video to the kids.
Trust me, it kills us that we don't have them in Spanish, and it's something we've actively worked towards. During the pandemic, we actually partnered with a church in South America who was dubbing our videos for us. But it was just, it's a lot on one church to do, and it's just something, we're actually still a pretty small team, and it just wasn't sustainable for us, but we are actively looking to see if we can make that a reality. Because we know it's a felt need. We absolutely know it. We're trying to get there.
I have a question about the adult material.
Yeah.
So a couple of years ago when I was teaching an adult class, the material wasn't very deep. It was more conversational and around just that type of sitting around and sharing. And some of our adults wanted to dig deeper into the scripture. Now, honestly, I haven't used material in at least 2 years, so I don't know if it has changed. But has that been taken into consideration? I know several officers made mention to DHQ and THQ about the fact that the material was just not helping us to dig deep into the word.
So we did change it a little bit, but we actually are very intentional with how we write Live a Better Story. We always have to establish a baseline. And our baseline is, if any adult wanders off the street and lands in your Sunday school class, can they understand the material? So that we always have to work off that baseline. We have a core in Asbury who has professors doing Live a Better Story, but then we also have a homeless shelter using it. And, you know, creating material to go deep for both is just absolutely impossible. So in the prep section in the beginning of each lesson, we actually put a little context section. So you know the background of where we're coming from. We try to highlight some of the resources we used for research. We try to give you the main scriptures that we followed so that if you do in fact want to go deeper, we've kind of given you a little bit of a roadmap to get there. Because, you know, if we're out here and if you're wanting to go deeper, you could go deeper in a few different directions. So we try to give you the direction that we were headed towards. So Live a Better Story is always going to be more conversational. It's actually intentional. It's not a Bible study. We will never advertise it as a Bible study. It is a small group discussion curriculum for maintaining a community. Those questions are conversational and quite vulnerable at times, to be honest, on purpose. It's to build a small group. It's not for everyone in the course, should not be all in the same group. It should be small groupings of adults getting really close to one another, knowing each other's story, knowing how each other shares their story, and then they're using biblical principles in each series to get deeper into their story. So it really is more of a conversation on purpose. It's not meant to be a deep theological study. That's something that we probably are never going to produce for us. If that's something that you're interested in, I can absolutely make suggestions of different material other than us that you can use, but we're not a Bible study. So it's always going to be that surface level is the wrong word, that baseline for if anyone wanders off, could they really understand what's happening in your class?
And I understand that. So a question then for Captain Kim, knowing that that is the intent of the material, how would we go about getting permission to use different materials if we wanted a deeper Bible study during our Sunday school time?
I will suggest, you know, the right media. We also have access to the right media. And when you go into the right media, there is a really deeper Bible study.
It's Bible study material, right? Media.
Yeah, so there's each book you can pick and choose, and also there's a study guide or leader's guide. Actually explains how to share the questions and then biblically go deeper. Actually, that's a Bible study material. So I suggest to look into right media. I can go through with you.
But the question is, do we need to let you know? Because the expectation is that we're using orange. If we choose to use something else, do we need to let you know that we've done that?
For the adult, I think you probably need to talk with Major Diane, or if you use the different materials. But yeah, so you can go from there. Yeah, but Right Media is a great place to start.
And then if you're looking for the hard copy one for the Bible study, you can also purchase through the Right Now Media. So they provide the hard copy one, the book actually. Yeah.
Yep.
The Francis Chan material on Right Now Media is actually really good. If you're looking for a suggestion, I love that study.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? I think they're really good.
So I have a question. You know, it's when I look at the orange material, they have a high school HP, HPX, the middle school, high school. They have a two section, right? And
Yeah.
then when I click it, when I'm looking for the virtual type of video, I couldn't find it. Only the Orange provide MP3, the voice file. So do you guys have a reason why you only guys provide
We give you
the,
the videos. So little tips and trick for
Yeah.
XP3, scroll down. As soon as you click on the season and it shows you those 4 series, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a box that says teaching videos. It
Mhm.
gets everyone because you don't see it on the screen
Oh.
unless you scroll down.
So there is a video, right?
There is a video, yes.
Mm.
Each curriculum has a video component that, please note, we don't expect you to use the videos. It's really for those who don't feel comfortable teaching or don't feel like they have
Mm.
enough volunteers in their core to teach. We really do advocate for live teaching. But if you do need a video, XP3 Middle and High School does have them. As soon as you click on your season, you'll see the 4 series that we do have available. Scroll down a tiny bit more and you'll see a box that says teaching videos. It looks just like a series.
Uh,
Got
And
it.
just for further clarification, First Look and 252 follow monthly themes.
mhm.
XP3 Middle and High School have series themes that vary from 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and 5 weeks. However, they always include a 1-week series. For high school, it's called I Have Questions. For middle school, it's called Trendings. And these are more intense, hard topics such on race, self-harm, suicide. So these are deeper topics that we need to discuss in Sunday school. However, they are not topics that you want to spend 3, 4, or 5 weeks on. So you'll always have at least one of those per season. So, and we consider a season 12 weeks of content. We also have 12 weeks of content for every 13 weeks. That was intentional because with teens in churches, there tends to be youth councils, core cadet retreats. There's always a Sunday where they weren't in the building. So we built that into our curriculum. Those are not happening as of right now. So if you do need content for that skip week, please let me know and I will find a past lesson to pass on to you. That's not a problem at all. And if there's a specific theme going on in your core, if your young person is having issues with something, please let me know. We have back series that I can definitely dig into our archives and make suggestions to see. For First Look in 252, I always suggest stay on our cycle. We are very intentional with where we teach something, when, and why for First Look in 252, but our teens are going through quite a bit right now, and they have my heart. I have a middle school small group myself, so if there's something your teens are needing in your church, please let me know, and I can try to go through and see if we have material that can match and help a little bit.
Yep. Awesome. You guys have any other question? You can always contact Jackie directly. You don't have to go through us. And Jackie is super good, and she's gonna go through whatever the question you have. So yeah, thank you for. I'm just gonna ask you, can you leave your email address? So that's an email address. And also we recorded our meeting because some of the core officer couldn't participate. They really want to have this resource with them. So I'm gonna send this recorded one to the officer, two officer actually, after this meeting. So, and then Xavier's gonna send you the meeting note, whatever the discussion we had, and he will send you after this meeting. All right.
Xavier, can you send me everyone's email again, and I'll be sure to pass on some resources.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then the PDF file that you sent to the officer, that was awesome.
Yeah.
So
I know
that's
it's a long PDF, I know, but I like information, so I try to give everything to you so that you have a document to refer back to.
But that was really detailed, and then all the pictures she just captured, so it's really easy to follow through. So you'll happy with
Send
that.
us that information, Captain Kim.
Huh?
Would you send us that PDF?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can send it as well. No
Yep.
problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining this meeting, and have a great day.
Yeah, if you have more question, don't hesitate. Contact to Jackie, and then she's gonna give you some full of information.
All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Major.
guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Terry.
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, 상아님.
See you,
감사합니다.
Jackie.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Terry.
Bye. Have a good day. Thank
Yeah,
Bye,
you
you
you.
too.
too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Javier.
Hey, Jackie left the meeting.
I think she left too.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's gonna have a break time.
Oh, wait,
I know you know
let me
some.
stop the recording.
Because
Oh, okay.
are we